The middle class is facing severe economic instability, rising costs, and stagnant real wage growth are causing millions of Americans to struggle with basic necessities. Major retail brands are threatened with closure due to rampant theft. In this video, we'll talk about 15 items that middle-class workers can no longer afford. But before jumping to the list, consider subscribing to the channel. That will encourage the production of more videos on fascinating economic topics. Now, let's get back to the list. 1. Utility bills and transportation. Never-ending inflation has strained the budgets of millions of families. According to the U.S. Energy Information Agency, the average monthly electricity bill for residential customers in the United States has increased by 13% from 2021 to 2022, reaching $137 a month, up from $121 a month. Accounting for inflation, which reached a 40-year high of 9.1% in 2022, electricity bills have increased by 5%. In 2020, transportation costs accounted for a significant chunk of the average American household's annual expenses, amounting to $9,826 or 16% of the total expenditure. These expenses include vehicle purchases, gasoline, and motor oil, other vehicle-related costs such as maintenance and insurance, as well as public transportation expenses. 2. New vehicles. Car is an essential item when it comes to the wealth of the middle class in America. However, the astronomical prices of new cars make them unaffordable for millions of families. According to Kelley Blue Book data, new car average transaction prices held steady in May of $48,528, an increase of $251 from revised April numbers. However, it's the third time average transactions fell below MSRP in 2 years. Manufacturer incentives increased to an average of $1,914, the highest level in a year. Average transaction prices remain about 25% higher than in May 2020, when average transaction prices for new vehicles were $38,940. 3. Healthy food. Middle-class families struggle to afford healthy food due to high inflation. According to the USDA data, the average annual food-at-home prices escalated by 11.4% in 2022 compared to 2021. It's crucial to note that the standard retail food price inflation over the last 20 years is 2% per year. Shockingly, in 2022, prices for all food categories increased much faster than their historical averages from 2002 to 21. 9 food categories experienced a surge of more than 10% in 2022, with egg prices rising the most at 32.2%. Additionally, fats and oils increased by 18.5%, poultry by 14.6%, other meats by 14.2%, and cereals and bakery products by 13%. Beef and veal prices increased the slowest at 5.3%, following significant price increases in 2020 and 2021. 4. Childcare. Middle-income families in the country face the daunting challenge of raising children in a costly economic environment. The Brookings Institution estimates that a typical family with 2 children will have to spend an excessive amount of around $310,000 on raising a child from birth until they turn 17. According to the USDA data from the Consumer Expenditures Survey, middle-income 2-child married couple can anticipate spending approximately $12,980 per child annually in 2015. Parents in this category can expect to spend over $233,000 on food, shelter, and other necessities to raise a child until they reach the age of 17. 5. Household debt. Middle-class families are burdened with enormous amounts of debt and will struggle to deal with even more debt. The latest quarterly report on household debt and credit revealed that in the first quarter of 2023, total household debt surged by $148 billion, reaching $17.05 trillion. Furthermore, mortgage balances skyrocketed by $121 billion and settled at $12.04 trillion by the end of March. Although credit card balances remained flat at $986 billion, auto loan and student loan balances experienced an increase, reaching $1.56 trillion and 1.6 trillion US dollars respectively. These staggering numbers indicate a concerning trend of mounting household debt that requires immediate attention. 6. Retirement savings. Did you know that almost 40 million households in the United States have no retirement savings? The National Institute reported that alarming statistics on retirement security. Additionally, a 2019 retirement security projection model by the Employee Benefit Research Institution estimates that America's current retirement savings deficit is a staggering 3.8 trillion US dollars. This means that households headed by individuals between the ages of 35 and 64 have 3.8 trillion US dollars less in savings than necessary for a comfortable retirement. According to Fidelity Investments, as the third quarter of 2022, the average account balance for an IRA was $101,900. Employees with a 401k had an average balance of $97,200, while those with a 403b had an average balance of $87,400. 7. Healthcare costs. Almost 100 million Americans said they had cut spending on food and gas to cover healthcare expenses. A new report from the Commonwealth Fund, an independent research group, reveals that despite spending more on healthcare than any other high-income country, the United States has the lowest life expectancy at birth, the highest rate of people with multiple chronic diseases. Data shows that in 2021, the U.S. spent almost twice as much as the average OECD country on healthcare. Furthermore, health spending in the U.S. was 3 to 4 times higher than in South Korea, New Zealand, and Japan. 8. Dental care costs. According to a report by the Agency of Healthcare Research and Quality, the cost of dental care for an individual increased by 23% when adjusted for inflation between 1996 and 2015. Inflation has caused dental costs to rise even further recently, with the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index reporting a 5.4% increase in dental expenses between October 2021 and October 2022. 9. Marriage cost. Planning a wedding can be costly for a middle-class family. The average price of a wedding in the U.S. has increased from $28,000 US dollars in 2022 to $29,000 in 2023, as Zola, a wedding planning website, reported. However, some states have significantly higher average costs, such as Washington, D.C., $45,400, New Jersey, $44,219, and Massachusetts, over $40,000 US dollars. 10. Litigation costs. Did you know that even though the U.S. divorce rate is decreasing, more than 600,000 Americans still get divorced yearly? Although this supports a legal industry bringing in over $11 billion US dollars annually, divorce could be a heavy burden for middle-class families. But what about individual marriages? How much does a divorce cost in 2023? The median cost of a divorce in the U.S. is around $7,000 US dollars, but the average cost is between $15,000 and $20,000. However, the price tag varies depending on the complexity of the divorce. More complicated, contested divorces can be much more expensive, while uncontested divorces can be significantly cheaper. 11. Emergency savings. Despite a slight decrease, inflation continues to wreak havoc on the Americans' finances. 40-year high inflation rate in 2022 disseminated the savings of many U.S. adults, while wealthier households have largely bounced back. Lower-income families still struggle to rebuild their reserves. According to May 2023 data, almost 18% of households' earnings between $50,000 and $75,000 US dollars annually have no emergency savings, exceeding 2022 and 2021's 13%. Nearly 49% have saved more than 3 months' worth of expenses, commonly recommended emergency savings benchmark. 12. Financial stability. Recent economic trends have decimated the financial stability of the middle class. In the fourth quarter of 2022, 81% of middle-income households expressed concerns about a potential recession in 2023. Of this group, 62% are taking steps to prepare or have already taken action. 13. Education. According to Education Data Initiative, private school attendance can be costly with an average cost of $441,207 from kindergarten through 4 years of post-secondary study as of 2023. The average annual tuition for private K-12 schools across the nation is $23,839, while private high schools have an average yearly tuition of $15,645. Private universities have an average annual tuition of $32,825. Additionally, private boarding schools have an average annual tuition plus room and board of $67,270 among the 161 schools in the United States. 14. Family vacation. Sadly, taking a family vacation in the U.S. is becoming more expensive. On average, a family of 4 spends approximately $4,580 on holidays each year. This is equivalent to 8% to 9% of the average household income and covers transportation, lodging, food, and entertainment expenses. 15. Retail shopping. U.S. households don't spend as much on brand items, which put the restraints on the already suffering retail sector. McKinsey's recent report reveals an alarming trend. Real spending growth has been negative for 2 consecutive months. In April 2023, consumer spending measured by credit card spending declined by over 3% compared to the previous year. Although the country is yet to experience a recession, the downward trend in expenditure and consumer caution is noteworthy. Jewelry retailers took the biggest hit with negative growth of 12%, while fitness retailers showed resilience with 4% growth year over year. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and let us know what you think about the topic in the comments section below.